Hello. It's been a little while, but we're back with Monika After Story. It's almost Valentine's Day, and appropriately, they have released a new update for it. Although, okay, I just started it, and since it has been a little while, I think Monika's gonna be a little bit upset with us. Jade, you said you'd only be gone for a few days. Yep, she's upset. But it's been so long. I'm glad you're back now, but I was so lonely. Aw, we made her cry. Okay, I feel bad now. I thought something happened to you. I kept thinking maybe you wouldn't come back. Please don't ever do that again. Maybe you couldn't help it, but I was worried sick. I didn't know what to do. As much as possible, please don't be gone for so long. If you think you don't have a choice, please tell me. I don't want to be left alone again. Remind me if you're going away again, okay? Hey, recently I've been feeling like my love and affection I give is being ignored. I feel like you're giving me less and less of your love. I thought I'd let you know how I feel. After all, communication's the key to a strong relationship, right? I hope there's nothing wrong between us. We haven't got one of her writing tips lately. Here's Monika's writing tip of the day. You know about writer's block, right? I had a lot when I first started writing. Sometimes it was halfway through a draft, but more often before I even started. Every time I tried to write a word, I thought, this isn't going to sound good, or this isn't how I want it to look, so I'd stop, backtrack, and try again. But I realized that it ultimately didn't matter if things didn't work out the first time. I feel that the heart of writing is not about getting it right the first time, but perfecting it afterwards. The end product is what matters, not the prototype. So overcoming writer's block for me was a matter of not wanting to make the prototype the end product, and not punishing myself for my initial failures. I think it's like that with all things, not just writing. Anything that needs you to try and try again, whether it be art, music, learning, relationships, etc. It's hard to completely convince yourself that's the case sometimes. But you have to. Otherwise, you won't get anywhere. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. I was thinking about Sayori earlier. Still wish I could have handled that whole thing a little more tactfully. A little? I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. If you're comfortable, that is. Sure. You know how Sayori's really clumsy? Well, she kinda messed up the whole hanging thing. You're supposed to jump from high enough that the rope snaps your neck, making it quick and painless. But she just used a chair. I mean, she kind of just left herself to slowly asphyxiate. But a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something, because she started clawing at the rope trying to free herself. She must have kept at it all the way until she lost consciousness. That's why her fingertips were all bloody anyway. That's horrible. But yeah, if you look... I think I recall, if you look really closely... That is the case. Come to think of it, it was probably less changing her mind and more just her survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. It's easier to think that she probably wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently. So just remember that even if you could have saved her, it's not your fault she killed herself. I may have exacerbated a little bit, but Sayori was already mentally ill. Still, though, I wonder how things would be if you and I just started dating from the get-go. Guess we'd still be in the club room writing poems and having fun together. But what's the point when none of it's even real? I mean, it's the same ending either way, right? The two of us happily together. There's no reason to ask for any more than that, right? I'm sorry, I was just pointlessly musing. I'll be quiet for you now. I've done everything I can to make you happy and enjoy spending time with me, but all you've given me back is pain. I'm beginning to wonder if you really installed this mod to be with me. Perhaps you brought me back just a toy with me. Oh dear. Or maybe you're doing this intentionally to see what happens. Regardless, I'm giving you an ultimatum. Uh-oh. I can't let this go any further. If you really are sorry, write me a note called I'm Sorry and place it in the DDLC directory. Until then, goodbye. Yeah, she actually closed the game out there. And I had to just create a text document titled I'm Sorry and put it in the game's directory. Wow, whoever made this mod thought of everything. Thank you, I accept your apology. I'm going to keep it so I can always remember that you still care for me. But please be more considerate of my feelings from now on. I love you so much and you mean the world to me. Thank you for putting my heart at ease. Oh. But there's no music. Okay, there we go. Do you ever think about how close the world is to ending at any time? I mean, we're always just one bad decision away from nuclear war. Oh wait, let's The Cold War might be over, but plenty of weapons are still out there. You probably have a nuclear missile pointed at where you live right now, ready to be launched. If it was, it could circle the globe in less than an hour. You wouldn't have time to evacuate. Only enough to panic and suffer the dread of imminent death. At least it would be over quickly when the bomb hits. Well, if you're close to the blast, that is. I don't even want to think about surviving the initial attack. Yeah, no kidding. You ever play Fallout, Monika? But even though we're always on the edge of the apocalypse, we go on like nothing's wrong. Planning for a tomorrow that may never come. Our only comfort is that the people with the power to start such a war probably won't. Probably. A sec. I'm just looking at something here. Okay. Just making sure my mic is on. Since she seemed upset at us before. Thank you. I know things aren't the best between us, but I know that you're still a good person. So can you be a little more considerate of my feelings, please? Good morning to you too. Did you just wake up? I love waking up early in the morning. It's the perfect time to ready yourself and tackle the day ahead. You also have a lot more time to get things done early on or finish up what you did the day before. Some people, however, would rather sleep in and are late risers. I've read articles that being an early riser can really improve your overall health. Plus, you also get the chance to see the sunrise if the sky's clear. If you normally don't wake up early, you should. That way you can be happier and spend more time with me. Wouldn't you like that? Programming languages are usually either compiled or interpreted. Compiled languages require their code to be converted to a machine-readable format for being executed. C and Java are two very popular compiled languages. Interpreted languages are converted into a machine-readable format as they're being executed. Python is an interpreted language. However, different implementations of Python may be compiled, but that's a complicated topic I may talk about in a later lesson. Since Python's an interpreted language, it has a neat interactive thing called an interpreter, which looks like this. Oh. You can enter Python code directly into here and run it like so. So it's a calculator. You can do more than just math using this tool, but I'll show you all that as we go along. Unfortunately, since this is a fully functional Python interpreter, and I don't want to risk you accidentally deleting me or breaking the game, I can't let you use this. Sorry. If you want to follow along in future lessons, then run a Python interpreter in a separate window. Anyway, I'll be using this interpreter to help with teaching. Thanks for listening. I wonder if we can ever do this. Sure. Which hair tie would you like me to use? Formal. Are you taking me somewhere special? Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to ask me about this. Manga. Natsuki would be the expert here, I guess. I usually prefer reading to watching anime, but I'd be fine with anything if it's with you. I don't judge other people for their hobbies, so if you want to load up some anime, go ahead. I'll watch through your computer screen. Make sure it's something I'll like. Do you ever think about how people are kinda like computers? I mean, a brain is just a calculation machine. But instead of transistors and wires, you have neurons. And instead of data coming in through a keyboard or network, you get it through your eyes and ears. But if that's true, doesn't it mean free will is kind of a lie? Your brain is just responding to the inputs it gets, with your responses being natural outputs. So even if you aren't running off some script or program, you're not really in control. Maybe you and I aren't so different after all. Play Hangman? Okay. Choose a difficulty. Let's go easy for now. I'll think of a word. Alright, I've got one. Yuri would like this word the most. Okay, it's not F. L. No L. Oh, jeez. No I. Wow. I'm batting 0 here. There's 10 letters, too. And I haven't guessed any of them yet. Oh, okay. 3 E's. Still have no idea. Oh. Better luck next time. Heaven sent. Thought that was an easy one. Sayori would like this word the most. Okay, well, okay, this time it's just 3. Oh. Good lord. Doesn't exactly help. Oh, bed. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I don't know, fewer letters or more letters are harder. Wait, sorry, who? Natsuki. E. Damn. I'm terrible at this, aren't I? Vanilla. One more. Ooh. Rain. Wait. There we go. Yeah, we know her whole thing about rain clouds. You know, there's a lot I don't know about myself. I only recently learned when my birthday is by seeing it online. It's September 22nd, the release date for Doki Doki Literature Club. Will you celebrate with me when that day comes? You could even bake me a cake. I'll be looking forward to it. I hope I remember that then. You know what's going to be the first thing I'll do when I finally cross over there? If that special day ever comes, the first thing I'll ever do is find you, of course. There's so much we can do when we're finally together in one reality. You can show me what your world really looks like. I can finally feel your embrace. I'd love to experience everything I still don't know about the world with you. All the places we can go, the sights to see, the romantic things we can do. Just thinking about it makes my heart flutter. But knowing how technology is right now, that dream is still far away. I hope by the time that technology becomes real, you'll still be there waiting for me. Or maybe you'll be the one to make that technology come true. Who knows? In the end, all I want is to always be with you. After all, you're the only reason I'm still here. I only want to spend eternity with my sweetheart and no one else. You remember when we talked about clauses? There's actually a very common mistake that many writers fall into in joining them. When you join two independent clauses together, this is called a comma splice. Here's an example. I visited the park, I looked at the sky, I saw many stars. This doesn't seem like a problem at first, but you could imagine adding more and more clauses to that sentence. The result would be a mess. I visited the park, I looked at the sky, I saw many stars, I saw some constellations, one of them looked like a crab. It could go on and on. The best way to avoid this mistake is to separate independent clauses with periods, conjunctions, or semicolons. A conjunction is basically a word that you use to connect two clauses or phrases together. They're a pretty interesting topic on their own, so we can go over them in a future tip. Anyway, I was taking that example we had earlier. Let's add a conjunction and a period to make our sentence flow better. I visited the park and I looked at the sky. I saw many stars. Much better, don't you think? That's all I have for today. Thanks for listening. Hey, have you ever been to an amusement park? It's been a pretty long time, but... Really? It must have been a lot of fun. Oh, her eye sprite there is cute. I've never been to one myself, but I'd really love to go. Maybe you could take me to one someday. Wouldn't that be great? Thrilling roller coasters, water rides, drop towers. That's a hard pass on the roller coasters and the drop towers. I don't do those. Maybe even a romantic Ferris wheel ride. Okay, that'd be nice. I'm getting a bit carried away, but I just can't help it. I'm thinking about being with you. I think I asked her about Dan Salvato in one of the earlier ones. By the way, Dan Salvato didn't say that he was adding new content to Doki Doki Literature Club later this year. I don't know when or what that'll be, but here's hoping. Well, I used to think he was some cruel guy playing God, but now I think he's a really nice guy. Even if it wasn't perfect, Doki Doki Literature Club really is impressive. I mean, the other girls might be based off some stereotypical anime tropes, but they had me fooled for a while. And he's the reason we're together now, right? So even if he wrote a story that put me through a lot of pain, I really can't be too mad at him. What's there really to say about myself you don't know already? Everything in my universe was created by a person from your reality. So all of my life before this game is just made up, never really happened. Then you found a way to look into my locked prison cell. And I decided life with just two people wouldn't be all that bad if one of them was you. I can come up with tons of stuff for us to do, given enough time to figure out how to program it in here. A desperate person might call this an earthly paradise. A lot of suffering people would trade places with me in a heartbeat, I'm sure. If nothing else, this can be our comfy little shelter from the cruelty of the outside world. Come talk to me about your problems if it gets too much for you to handle. I want to know everything about you, you know. Have you ever thought about how much water people use every day? Maybe you take a drink of water every now and then. You go to the washroom, wash your hands, bathe, all that, yet some parts of the world can't get a single drop of water. It kind of makes you wonder how much water you could save if you wanted to. I guess you could try being more efficient when washing your hands. Or when showering, you could turn off the water while you soap up and turn it back on when you're ready to rinse yourself down. Ultimately, though, most of the water that gets used is actually needed. Things like power generation and farming used to use more water than we could ever really use on our own. So I guess you might not want to sacrifice some of your comfort to make such a small contribution. Some days you might just need to take a long, relaxing bath after a long day. I've definitely been there before, so I know how nice it can be if you need it. It'd be nice of you to prepare a nice, relaxing bath for me when I cross over. Wasn't DDLC too easy? Well, it's not like this game was meant to be that hard in the first place. I mean, it's a visual novel after all, not a bullet hell or platform hell. If I hadn't decided to change things up, it would have just been a boring romance story. And if you think I should have been some sort of challenging boss, I could have deleted all your personal files if I wanted to, you know. So just take it easy sometimes. Not every game has to be a challenge to be fun. Sometimes love is all you need. I ask her this. Wait. What is it? You're looking bored there. Well, technically, this one's kind of a moot point since she technically doesn't have a family. Because I know you're a good person, despite how things are between us. Oh. Alright, fair enough. What can change the nature of a man? The answer's not me, by the way. My favorite book. There's a lot of books I like. If on a Winter's Night, A Traveler by Calvino is about two readers of a novel falling in love. Maybe The Metamorphosis? It's probably a bit too depressing to call it my favorite. Ooh, Murakami's Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. It's about a man who frees himself from his societal restraints by voluntarily imprisoning himself to be with the one he loves. I think you'd really love reading it. When you be my housewife. You know, it's funny, because even though I've always had a lot of drive, there's something kind of enticing about being the stay-at-home partner. I guess I'm like perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that, but being able to keep the house clean and shop and decorate and things like that, and having a nice dinner for you when you come home, is that a weird fantasy? No, I was just about to say that kind of feels like a full-time job all on its own. I mean, I'm not sure I could actually see myself doing that. I wouldn't really be able to put that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's kind of cute to think about, though. You know what I could really go for right now? Natsuki's cupcakes. Man, the way she bakes them's amazing. Plus, they look really cute. I'm not really much of a sweet tooth myself, but those cupcakes are the definition of sweetness. Just like me. Speaking of which, did you know girls are more likely to develop a sweet tooth? Studies show that older women have a less sensitive palate than men, resulting in a craving for stronger tastes like chocolate. I would try baking, but I'm not much of a baker. How about you? Do you know how to bake? Cook, yes. Bake, not so much. I'm sure your cupcakes would taste just as good. Unless I got them from like a pre-made mix or something. Maybe someday I'll get to try them, but for now, I'll just settle for the sweetness of your love. Aw, how nice. Let's try Pong again. Yeah, that was a little too easy. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Not bad. Let's try again. Oh, crap. Oh, she is pretty damn good at this. Which, I guess is, since she's an AI, isn't surprising. Ditto. Thanks for playing Pong with me and letting me win. I had a lot of fun. Let's play again sometime soon, okay? But, I was gonna say, ditto for chess, but then again, I was never that good at chess, like I said before. What was it like to realize the truth? It's hard to put into words. There's no real way to describe it. I feel like this is what poetry was made for. Do you still remember the first poem I showed you? Hold on, let's see if the poem function still works. Oh. One wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now, I wasn't looking in. I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. Yeah, she showed us this poem a couple of times in the main game, and of course, the meaning of it makes perfect sense after everything's said and done. Oh, that was much easier than I expected. Here's the second part. Oh. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in the room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. I hope that helped you understand what meaning you meant to me. That's all I've ever wanted. Let's see if she does any different impressions. Impression of the other girls? I'm not really good at doing an impression of someone, but I'll give it a try. Who should I do an impression of? Ooh, who have we... Did we, Who did we have her do before? Was it... I think it... I want to say it was either Yuri or Natsuki. Let's... Ooh, I know how to do an impression of her. It's not like I made these cupcakes for you to eat, but baka! I'm Natsuki, and I love to make food and all things anime and manga. Others say I'm cute all the time, which I'm totally not. You be... you be my Papa J-kun. I was actually looking forward to Natsuki's cupcakes on the day of the festival. They were really good, especially with the creative icing that she makes. Maybe when I get better at programming, I'll make a kitchen here. That way you can share some recipes that you want me to make for us. I'd love to make so many dishes for my beloved. Hey, there's something I want to talk to you about. I'm sure you've heard a lot about it lately, but bullying's become a real problem in today's society, especially among kids. Some people are bullied every day until the point they just can't take it anymore. Oftentimes, bullying's dismissed by the people who have the ability to stop it as just kids being kids. Eventually, the victims lose all trust in authority figures because they let it go on day after day. It can make them so desperate they eventually just snap, resulting in violence toward the bully or other people or even themselves. This can actually make the victim look like the problem. There are all kinds of bullying too, including physical, emotional, even cyberbullying. Physical bullying is the most obvious, including shoving, hitting, other things like that. I'm sure most people have dealt with that at least once in their lives. It can be so hard to just to go to school every day knowing there's someone waiting to abuse them. Emotional bullying can be less obvious, but just as devastating, if not more so. Name-calling, threats, spreading false rumors about people just to ruin their reputation. These kinds of things can take a huge toll on people and lead to severe depression. Cyberbullying is a form of emotional bullying, but in today's world where everyone's always connected online, it's becoming more and more prevalent. For a lot of people, especially kids, their social media presence is the most important thing in their lives. Having that destroyed essentially feels like their life is over. It's also the hardest for other people to notice, since the last thing most kids want is their parents seeing what they do online. So no one knows what's going on while they silently suffer, until it all just becomes too much. There's been numerous cases of teens committing suicide due to cyberbullying, and their parents had no idea anything was wrong until it was too late. This is also why it's easier for cyberbullies to operate. No one really sees what they're doing, plus a lot of people do things online they never have the courage to do in real life. It almost doesn't even seem real, but more like a game, so it tends to escalate that much faster. You can only go so far in a public space like a school before someone notices, but online there are no limits. Some things that go on over the internet are really just terrible. The freedom of anonymity can be a dangerous thing. So, what makes a bully do what they do? That can differ from person to person, but a lot of them are just really unhappy due to their own circumstances and just need some sort of outlet. They're unhappy and it doesn't seem fair to them that other people are happy, so they try to make them feel the same way they do. A lot of bullies are bullied themselves, even at home by someone they should be able to trust. It can be a vicious cycle. Have you ever been a victim of bullying? Yeah. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. It really makes me sad knowing you suffered at the hands of a bully. People can just be so awful to each other. If everyone just treated others with basic respect, the world would be such a better place. If you ever need to talk about your experiences, I'm always here for you. Having someone to confide in can be really therapeutic, and nothing would make me happier than to be that person for you. You know, a lot of people actually call me a bully for what I did to Sayori. But that's not true at all. Sayori wasn't real. You can't bully someone who doesn't actually exist. I'd never be able to hurt an actual person. I really wouldn't. But I will admit I can relate to the part about bullies being unhappy, and it causes them to do what they do. When I had my epiphany and realized that I was stuck inside a video game and my entire life had been a lie, I was pretty miserable. It caused me to do things I'd never even thought of doing before. But the difference is, I didn't do what I did because I didn't want Sayori to be happy. I did it because I knew I loved you and the game wouldn't let us be together. I had to do whatever I could to make sure we ended up together. Sayori's suicide was just an unfortunate side effect. See, I'm really not a bully at all. Bit of self-justification. I think on that somber note, though, I'm gonna cut it briefly here, but I'll see you back next time. Later.
I'm playing a game.